Right, so the regular AirPods recently got a refresh, and so did AirPods Pro, so that leaves AirPods Max as the only product Apple sells in the lineup right now that's been untouched since it released back in 2020. Well, actually, that's technically not the case because AirPods 2 still exist, but that doesn't count to be fair, so let's talk about the new details regarding AirPods Max 2. So information regarding the next AirPods Max has been sparse, to be honest. The only consistent rumor we've heard is the fact Apple could be launching new colors for the existing pair, but that's pretty boring. And thankfully, recent reports do suggest we'll be getting a proper second generation pair. And the information I'll be delving into comes from the relatively credible source Ming Chi Kuo, though as with any reports, take everything with a grain of salt. Now he tells us Apple plans to release two new AirPods models, the AirPods Lite, which I'll delve into in another video, and also AirPods Max 2. Unfortunately, Kuo then tells us that release-wise, we should expect shipments in the second half of 2024 or the first half of 2025, which is quite some while away, and I'm frankly disappointed because Apple usually updates AirPods models every 3 years. Then again, some may argue that because of the recession, Apple and many other companies are being a little more wise with their spending, and considering AirPods Max are far from Apple's most popular model, they can wait it out and release them later. It just sucks for us. And that's basically everything Kuo tells us, which means he gives us nothing regarding the features. Thankfully, it's not awfully hard to predict what to expect. In fact, this refresh is really Apple catching up with the competition, and more specifically catching up with their own AirPods Pro 2, which now of course has better features than the Max. So for example, expect better sound. Apple brought new drivers to AirPods Pro 2 and everyone raved about the quality, and while I'm aware AirPods Max already sound excellent, further extending their lead in this department is always appreciated, and considering they have more space to work with on the Maxes, we can definitely expect revamped drivers for better audio. Also, AirPods Max don't have a custom high dynamic range amplifier that AirPods Pro 2 and AirPods 3 have, so expect that as well. Another thing AirPods Pro 2 included was better ANC, which again, I do think AirPods Max will adopt, along with adaptive transparency mode to protect its ears from harsh sounds. I would also expect the conversation boost feature AirPods Pro have. It's pretty handy, and I'm frankly quite surprised AirPods Max did not have this in the first place. And since we can expect two H2 chips in each cup of AirPods Max, the improvements the Pro introduced should be even better with these, which is exciting news. And by the way, would like to remind you guys, like this video and subscribe for more content like this, it would be appreciated. Now, one thing I do wonder if Apple will give us is water and sweat resistance. Now, why I'm unsure is because AirPods Max aren't really made for workouts. AirPods Max are pretty heavy, so they might not be comfortable to wear at the gym, hence why I think Apple might skip out on this upgrade for AirPods Max 2. And if I'm being honest, I'd rather Apple make a cheaper pair of headphones they can work out with, and maybe these will be Apple's take on the Beats Solo 3s. This was actually the initial rumor. John Prosser told us to expect two variants of what was then called AirPods Studio. The first variant was a luxury version, which ended up being AirPods Max, and the second variant was a sportier, less expensive pair that could have been $399. And who knows, maybe the reception would have been better for the Maxes if Apple had a Max Sport that was cheaper alongside it. Anyways, back to AirPods Max 2, another thing I wonder we'll see is the new skin sensor AirPods Pro 2 and AirPods 3 have, which do a better job at detecting when you take them off and when you put them back on. AirPods Max currently use the older optical sensors, but I'm assuming it's much harder to fool these sensors because the headphones are much larger, but we'll see what Apple does. Anyways, the next upgrade to expect is better battery life. I'm pretty sure that with the inclusion of the H2 chip, the battery should improve by at least 2 hours. And I think this is where AirPods Max could have been better, because while they're undoubtedly better than AirPods and AirPods Pro at around 20 hours of endurance, they do fall behind the Sony XM4s, which offer 30 hours, and so it would be nice if Apple brought some of that magic they have on Apple Silicone with the MacBooks and give these new Maxes the best battery life in a pair of headphones. That would especially be handy because these headphones don't have any sort of passive modes. You see, with most other headphones, you can still continue using them wired even when the battery's dead, but that for some reason is not the case with Apple's Maxes. Now, it would be nice if Apple enabled this with a new pair, but if they don't, then just stick to offering much better battery life. The next thing I and many of us want to see is a better case. Everyone basically agreed on the fact the original had a shockingly horrible case that offered no protection to the actual headphones, and thankfully there has been patents of a more traditional case in the works, so hopefully we see that with the new Maxes. And since Apple's Apple and they always try to stuff in magnets wherever they can, the patent does mention it'll be held together using magnetic mating strips, which would replace the zipper traditional cases use, which is a nice touch to be fair. Along with the more protective case, I personally would like to see a U1 chip inside, similar to AirPods Pro 2, so that if we do lose these headphones, we can get a more precise location. Also, if you lose the headphones around your house, these having speakers similar to AirPods Pro that can produce an audible chirp would be nice. Now, the crown undoubtedly was a fantastic addition to the original AirPods Max, but some of you might not know this, but the original plan was to give this touch sensors similar to what Sony does with their headphones. So could we see that with AirPods Max 2? Well, that is a possibility, but I do think it's pretty unlikely considering that many love the more precise control the crown has. Other smaller upgrades I would like to see are a physical off switch, because while in theory the case keeping the headphones in an ultra low power state sounds pretty nice, there were many complaints that people were losing hours of battery life when the AirPods were idle, so of course it would be nice if we could actually turn them off. Also, Bluetooth 5.3 is something we can expect, and while I did initially think this could enable lossless, we did not see that with AirPods Pro 2, so I do have my doubts the Max will get this. Personally, Apple should just enable lossless when these are using a wired connection, because most headphones offer this, and I don't understand why Apple offers and promotes lossless as a headline feature for Apple Music, but does not let consumers access this content on their very expensive pair of Apple headphones. Talking about the price, this was by far the biggest issue with AirPods Max originally. They were a lot more expensive than the competition and most could not justify the high price. Now thankfully via third parties, the price became more digestible with sales often at $350, which should have been the original price. Now I'm kinda hoping AirPods Max 2 don't make the same mistake and come with a much lower starting price, but those dreams have kinda been crushed with the release of the new HomePod. Because similar to the Maxes, the OG HomePod was also criticised for being too expensive, and hence many of us expected a price cut if Apple were to launch a new version, but that for some reason was not the case. Apple kept the new HomePod at $299, which was the discounted price the original HomePod had, because yes, Apple gave this a rare discount to try and increase sales, but it still flopped. And so considering this, even though the original Maxes only picked up steam after we saw discounts, I don't expect a price cut with AirPods Max 2 as much as many want this. In fact, would be lucky to see these go down to $500, but I just have my doubts we'll be getting any price reduction at all, which is kinda sad. But as I said, for those who aren't in a rush and can wait, I'm sure AirPods Max 2 will get similar discounts, and so technically it's only bad news for the early adopters. Finally, let's talk colours. We're still expecting new hues for the existing pair, I believe, and there are some long waiting times for the current range of colours, so maybe we'll see a refresh soon with the iPad Air 5 colours, considering AirPods Max were originally based on the iPad Air 4 colours. Then again, Apple's very random with their colour choices, so it's hard to predict what we'll see, but of course, I personally would like an orange pair, that would be sweet. And well, that's about it guys. Tell me in the comments everything you want to see with the 2nd gen AirPods Max. Anyways, thank you for watching guys, make sure to like and subscribe for the latest Apple news and rumours, and on that note, see ya peeps.